Namaskar viewers, hello and welcome to Sunset TV. I am Tina Jha. You're watching Perspective. After nearly a month-long high-octane campaigning, elections in Meghalaya and Nagaland concluded on Monday. Voting was held across 118 constituencies, 59 each in both states, to seal the fate of around 550 candidates. Now, both states have a 16-member assembly. However, in Meghalaya, polling in Sohiong constituency has been postponed due to the death of one of the candidates, while in Nagaland, the BJP candidate Kazheto Kinimi won the Akuluto constituency unopposed. As per initial reports, Nagaland recorded a voter turnout of about 84%, while in Meghalaya it was around 76%. This, of course, is subject to change once the official figures are announced. So after the polling, counting of votes for both states will take place on the 2nd of March, along with that of Tripura, where voting was held on the 16th of February. Who is projected to win in these three states? The first among the 9 states that go to polls this year. We ask political experts and senior journalists who are joining us on the show tonight. I'm pleased to welcome 2 distinguished panelists on this edition of Perspective. Dr. Sunil Choudhary, Professor of Political Science, Delhi University, and Mr. Nirendra Dev, he's a senior journalist. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the program.
Thanks.
Mr. Dev, let me begin the program today with you.
Okay.
You know, you have traveled the length and breadth of all these 3 poll-bound states. Exit polls predict that the BJP is going to retain Tripura, the BJP-NDP alliance is going to have Nagaland. Meghalaya is where, a tough contest is anticipated. What is your sense, and which of these exit polls do you think stand closest to your assessment?
I think, Tinaji, this exit polls are this time could be bang on target, because for Meghalaya, I also feel it's heading for an hung assembly. And of course, NDPP and BJP have a big advantage in Nagaland. And in Tripura, despite left and the ecosystem saying something else, we knew, I think, things are moving in favor of BJP only. Important takeaway from these elections this year, as you started with the opening remarks, that this is the first elections for 2023. And we keep an eye on 2024. These elections in Northeast could be, small states and small issues like jobs, development, and all those things. Of course, in Nagaland, insurgency issue remains a very serious issue. But these elections revolved around Mr. Modi. In all the 3 states, the biggest common factor, the common thread between all the 3 states is Moditwa. People have shown enough confidence, and they want Modi to deliver faster and deliver more.
So in Tripura and Nagaland, what are the factors that have worked? That is something that I'll come to Mr. Choudhary in just a while. But before that, a related question, and because you spoke about campaigning, Meghalaya is where most of the action lies. So we saw political bigwigs of all parties. In fact, the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi didn't campaign anywhere else except in Meghalaya. We've seen how the TMC is, wanting to make it big. So it's a multi-cornered contest there. But why is the state then heading towards a hung assembly? What about the BJP factor there?
No, BJP factor is there, definitely. And they will improve significantly. Even if they can, of course, I don't think they will touch 30 figures or near 20 figures on their own. But see, last time, 2018, they contested around 45 seats. And they won only 2. And this time, if they make it 10, that's a significant increase. Okay. So that is one ground. Secondly, they are part of the ruling government with NPP. Of course, they are still in the government in the technical sense, but they contested all 60 seats for the first time in Meghalaya. So, and in Meghalaya, if our BJP leaders or BJP poll strategies, they think they have a chance of having a chief minister of their own. Again, I will come back to the factor. It is Modi factor.
Sure. We will continue with the discussion on that line. But we also have with us on the program Lareni Tsanglao. She's a senior journalist, Kohima, Nagaland. Thank you for your time and welcome to this edition of Perspective. What we were discussing before you joined us is how the exit polls are predicting a BJP win in Tripura, a BJP-NDP alliance winning it in Nagaland. What are the factors, as per you, which are helping this alliance to retain power? And what about the opposition? Did they not work hard? Did they not rake up issues that could resonate with the people?
Yes, in Nagaland we have this NDPP and PGB alliance since last government, and even this government also there is a triple alliance between the PGB and NDPP. And here we can see like after the alliance, of course, there has been a lot of development that is coming to the state, and many people after the pandemic they have also realized about people has been I mean, with this government, the NDPP and PGP alliance government had helped a lot of people in the rural areas also. So, of course, yeah, this government has gained faith, people has gained faith on this, on the alliance government also.
So
But at the same time, of course, the NPF were the opposition in the last government, but at the end of the tenure, most of the MLAs from the NPF, the opposition party, the Naga People's Front, most of the MLAs joined NDPP. Now here, in this election, the poll was held today. In this election, most of the defected MLAs from NPF who joined NDPP, they were not given a ticket again of NDPP or either PJP
Right.
out of that. So here, like people has, you know, like this time they are very having this having a hard time, you know, like getting back to. They might have a lot of time, hard time getting back to the government, or they might be having their own, you know, like trying to have their own
Sure. Ms.
alliance
Lareni,
also.
before we come
So,
to the issues, let me ask you one question. Will Nagaland get its woman MLA this time? We've been waiting for decades. You sent a woman to the Rajya Sabha last year, but will your assembly have a woman MLA? What are the prospects?
yes, actually, this time, out of the 4 women candidates, at least one is expected to win. But as one thing I want to share is that in our Naga society, you know, like in the decision-making body, women has never taken part before, and it might be a little difficult for the, you know, like for the other gender or male gender to accept that also practically, because even now in any of the issues, women does not take part in the decision
Let's hope
making.
this election result, kickstarts that kind of change and we move towards more participation of women in politics in Nagaland. But Professor Choudhary, if we are to go by the exit polls, and as Mr. Dev suggested, they might be bang on for these the 3 states, for BJP retaining Tripura and also, taking a lead with the alliance in Nagaland, what could be the factors that have worked in favor of the party and the alliance?
The first important factor, I would say that the alliance of BJP Nagaland didn't leave any strong opposition there as a part of the fray. So the National Democratic Progressive Party and BJP alliance contesting, say, the 40-20 seats respectively, and see one seat has been declared unopposed from the BJP side. So that shows that the Naga People's Front could have been the strong contender vis-a-vis this alliance. But this time, this notion of double engine government in Nagaland as well as in Tripura might have seen in terms of this electoral verdict in favor of this alliance. And when I say about Tripura, because even in Tripura, one could see that there could be a very tough fight and contest, or from Tripura Mutha. But BJP's alliance with Indigenous People Front of Tripura, so even though it was, say, 54 and 6 seats over there in Tripura, that also shows that BJP very strategically handled this, the tribal belt. And this alliance could have given BJP an edge in forming the government in Tripura as the election results, survey results project. I would say that the Center of our Global Studies, part of University of Delhi, covered all these 3 states, Nagaland, Meghalaya and Tripura, covering all these 178 constituencies. And as far as our survey results give the projection, these 2 states, BJP is going to get a very good, comfortable majority in Tripura and Nagaland. As far as Meghalaya is concerned, BJP from 2 seats is going to get around 13 seats, because this time the electoral campaigns which BJP undertook there in Meghalaya, it was more on empowering Meghalaya. And somehow there was, and Meghalaya didn't have a very strong alliance which was there as part of Meghalaya
Yeah, in fact, my
Democratic
next
Alliance.
question to you is about Meghalaya. What went wrong with the alliance in Meghalaya? Was it just about the allegations of corruption as were reported in the media? Or was it also because of the ambition that NPP has in expanding its footprint in the region? Was that also coming in the way of the BJP?
No, there were many factors which led to the split in this alliance. It was an alliance of more than 5 parties. The party which actually had a very big say in this alliance was NPP, Kunal Sangma's party. But I think for past 2 years, the preceding 2 years, the issue of citizenship, the issue of, say, infiltration, issue of corruption, brought about this rift between and among all these alliance partners. So Meghalaya, all these alliance partners were contesting elections single-handedly alone. So this could be the reason that the voters might not have been very happy while giving wholeheartedly giving verdict or support to all this alliance as the collective entity. Since all these entities were contesting as a single entity, I don't think that voters were very happy about this kind of breaking of the alliance. So this fractured mandate could be attributed to the corruption because there was the blame game which was going on. NPP was not very happy working with the BJP and vice versa. Similarly, the state parties, if you just see the state party, United Democratic Front, which is part of MDA, and the Hill States Democratic People's Party, this is also part of MDA. Even these parties got a split with the MDA. So all these 6-7 parties, and one could see even from, say, Hill Democratic People's State Party, we had another party, People's Choice Party. So Voice of the People's Party, VPP. So that seems to me that in Meghalaya, people were slightly confused about the alternative government vis-a-vis the MDA, and one of the important campaigns in Meghalaya, which was basically projected by BJP, was Apki Bar Sthai Sarkar, that you have to go for a stable government this time in Meghalaya. But I think the communities, the Garo community, the Jaintia communities, and the Khasi communities, one could see the polarization of votes across these 3 communities.
So, as you say, and as the exit polls also suggest, Mr. Dev, in case there is a hung assembly, the chances of which are quite high, what is the probability that you see? Which are the parties that could come together to form the government?
Mr. Choudhary made interesting remarks about the alliance politics in Meghalaya. Of course, they were together for 5 years. They fought before the elections.
They had a bit of fallout.
Yeah, and after second, they will again come together. The only thing is probably Conrad Sangma is not getting chief ministership. That's what I feel very strongly. And BJP central leadership have reasons not to be very pleased with about him. The reverse theory applies in Nagaland.
How do you see the performance of the other side? The Trinamool Congress has, worked really hard. In fact, Mukul Sangwa, the way he joined the party, bringing along several Congress legislators, do you see the TMC actually making visible inroads in the state?
Yeah, there are 2 different things. We have to see Meghalaya politics, as Mr. Choudhary said, from the tribal sentiment also. Right. At the same time, the issue of outsider, insider, that is an issue in the Northeast. We cannot run away from it. I think Mukul Sangma could have been a much bigger force had he floated a party of his own, or stick to Congress also probably. Today he would have been in a much stronger position. Problem with Trinamool Congress is not with the cash that was discovered in Kolkata. Those are not the issues. Issue is the Trinamool Congress got a tag of being a Bengali party. It's like a gali, It is a negative connotation for that is becoming Mukul Sangma's biggest handicap. If he overcomes that, he is a player in Garo Hills. He is a major player. But that is a factor. So that is going against him.
Who could be the kingmaker is something that I'll come back to again for more perspective. But Ms. Lareni, I'll come back to you and understand more about Nagaland. So, what the exit polls predict is NDPP might just cross the halfway mark on its own. Together with the BJP, they might be touching 42 or something. But could that also be a problem in the times to come between the alliance? Because as we have seen, one party growing bigger at the cost of the other, becomes problematic in the alliance, maybe, halfway through the term.
Exactly. This time, yeah, and when it comes to National Democratic Progressive Party, NDPP, most of the tickets they have given to the candidates are of young, new faces. So most probably in many of the constituency they might not, like expected also. But at the same time, there is another party, that RPI and LJP, who has come in this time setting up their own candidates. And during the campaign also, they have clearly mentioned that they will not be setting up candidates where PJPs are also there. So most probably they might not come up to the figure of, like alone, just the NDPP and PJP alone, come up to a certain figure of a majority. But as per those LJP and RPI, the two parties which came in, and even JTU had been an alliance with the government also. So most probably they will be getting in more of those other parties besides PGP and NDPP alliance.
What we are also hearing is that, once the election results are announced, in all probability, the NPF may merge with the BJP. How true is that? And are you also hearing any of that kind of a report?
Not NPF.
So far, no. I don't think they will just merge with BJP. No doubt they have been in alliance from before. They have been in alliance before in the last government also.
The last, yes.
But merging with BJP is something, as far as NPF is concerned, it is not expected. If that is something like people are getting to talk about, but when it comes to NPF, then merging with BJP will be a little difficult to decide.
Okay, why is it being talked about then, Mr. Dev?
No, it is not NPF. It's probably NDPP will do it.
They'll merge
probably
with the BJP.
that was the calculation.
In fact, I was hearing one of the political experts say that Nagaland may not have an opposition because the NPF
they got
could
little mixed up probably. NPF is a hardliner regionalist. They may come down in terms of vote share and winning of seats, but the chief of NPF, Mr. Sorozela, is a veteran regionalist, hardcore anti-Congress, hardcore anti-BJP. I don't think...
if you look at the seat distribution also, do you think the BJP had gauged the manner in which the NDPP was, and if you view perhaps the chief minister, he is popular, he has that kind of hold on the population.
Tinaji, my understanding of BJP's strategy about Nagaland, I fail to understand. They own 12 seats in 2018, contesting 20 seats, and they had the highest, best strike rate. NDPP owned only 18 seats last time after contesting 40 seats. But still BJP stuck to 20 figures, okay, and gave 40 to NDPP. Okay, this time there are every chance they will do better than 12, okay.
You're right. In fact, the 2040...
I'll come to Modi factor again. In coalition politics, Mr. Rio's career has been saved by Modi factor. Had there been no alliance between NDPP and BJP, today you would have been seen NDPP figure below 10.
Okay, Professor Choudhary, do you agree? The BJP perhaps gauged, or what could be the logic behind this 20-40 seat distribution if their strike rate has been so good?
So nobody was knowing that, how this Northeast would be transforming, because Naga society is a transforming society. And BJP might have strategically opted for an alliance because for past 2 years, this BJP's alliance with the National People's Party in Meghalaya didn't work well. So I think BJP didn't want to lose this alliance with NDPP, and I'm not sure to what extent BJP had gone towards strengthening the strategic relationship in terms of getting more bargaining for the seats to be contested. But even if BJP is just trying to make its presence felt all across 8 sister states, and Nagaland plays a very important role. And I would also say that NDPP is very right in terms of entering into an alliance with the BJP, because this double engine developmental model which Modi ji has been propagating right from the beginning, and Nagaland is having many important issues besides corruption and unemployment. So development governance are lagging far behind in this past 5 years of governance. So being a part of this in alliance with BJP, I think NDPP would be in a far better position to gain out of this alliance, getting good support from the union government. Right. And the BJP and the ND government here at the center is making huge investments as part of its strategy towards northeastern states.
Absolutely. We've seen the kind of thrust that this government has given to the Northeast. We're also being joined on the program by Mr. Pranab Sarkar, Editor-in-Chief, Headlines Tripura. Mr. Sarkar, thank you for your time. Before you joined us, we've had a good discussion on all the three states and the kind of probabilities that the exit polls throw up. What is your assessment about the state? A majority of the exit polls are showing the BJP plus retaining power. Mr. Sarkar, am I audible to you?
Yes.
Yes. Your perspective on the exit polls, Mr. Sarkar, a majority of them show the BJP retaining the state. Is that what your sense is also there, in the kind of reports that you have seen and the assessment that you have had from your state?
आवाज नहीं आ रहा है.
Mr. Sarkar, am I audible to you now?
आवाज नहीं आ रहा है.
Oh, I think. प्रणब जी, क्या आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं?
Yes.
क्या आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
अभी आ रहा है.
जी, आपने ज्वाइन किया उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आपके आने से पहले गेस्ट के साथ यही बात कर रहे थे कि कैसे एग्जिट पोल्स में ये दिखा रहे हैं कि बीजेपी प्लस को त्रिपुरा मिल रहा है. दे आर रिटेनिंग पावर. आपका क्या असेसमेंट है?
अभी जो एग्जिट पोल में जो दिखाया है तो शायद हमारा यही लगता है, यही हो सकता है दोबारा बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट आ सकते हैं त्रिपुरा में, क्योंकि जो गवर्नमेंट जो स्कीम त्रिपुरा में दिया है, प्राइम मिनिस्टर का जो स्कीम है, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का जो स्कीम है, वो स्कीम का बेनिफिट शायद इलेक्शन में बीजेपी का मिलना देख रहा है. जो बीजेपी के खाते में जा रहा है, जो लाभार्थी है और जो बेनिफिशियरी है उसका जो वोट बीजेपी के खाते में जा रहा है. और त्रिपुरा वोट में दिस टाइम वाज पोलराइज्ड. ट्राइबल का वोट शेयर, तो जो नया पार्टी है, जो किंग का नया पार्टी है, त्रिपुरा माता का पास जा रहा है. अभी सीपीएम और कांग्रेस का जो अलायंस हुआ है त्रिपुरा में, उसका शायद कोई प्रैक्टिकल फील्ड में कोई सक्सेस नहीं.
पर उसकी वजह क्या है? क्योंकि ये लोग एक दूसरे के अगेंस्ट लड़ते हैं एक स्टेट में, अब साथ आ गए हैं, कहीं ना कहीं लोगों में एक्सेप्टेंस नहीं रहा. क्या वजह है कि लोगों ने लेफ्ट और कांग्रेस अलायंस को उस तरह से स्वीकार नहीं किया जैसा आप बता रहे?
क्या बोला? तो हम तो सुन नहीं रहे.
लेफ्ट और कांग्रेस के अलायंस को अगर एक्सेप्टेंस नहीं मिला है लोगों में, तो उसकी क्या सबसे बड़ी वजह है मिस्टर सरकार?
सीपीएम का तो जो अलायंस है, सीपीएम का कांग्रेस है, लास्ट सिंस द त्रिपुरा इंडिपेंडेंट, जो राइवल टू पार्टी है, कांग्रेस एंड सीपीएम, दिस ईयर जो राइवल पार्टी है उसको जो एडजस्ट हो गया, उसके शायद वोटर में जो वोटर है उसको बैड इफेक्ट हुआ. इसलिए देख रहे जो ग्रास रूट में, वो जो अलायंस नहीं हुआ ग्रास रूट में,
ठीक है,
अपर लेवल में हुआ, ग्रास रूट में नहीं हुआ.
ओके.
इसलिए जो उसको जो अलायंस का बेनिफिट उसका तो नहीं मिल रहा है.
We'll have to wait for the exact numbers, till the 2nd of March. But of course, the sense that the exit polls provide, what you have also gauged on the ground. But I'll take one question, because Tripura and Nagaland are quite clear to understand. But Meghalaya is where the twists and turns will prevail on the 2nd of March also. Which is the party that you see at least emerging as the single largest party, which will have the advantage to then, collaborate with the others?
That advantage remains with NPP.
With the NPP?
Yes.
And do you think, will they be able to, go back to the BJP fold and form the government once again?
Yes. And during December...
Or will they reach out to the others?
No. There is no chance. Conrad Sangma will be pleased to oblige BJP in any case. December 20th or 18th, I think, Prime Minister was in Shillong. And Conrad Sangma, it was an official function, Northeast Council function. Conrad Sangma spoke in Hindi for 20 minutes. And he only said blah, 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 Modi, 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 like any BJP soldier would have said.
Okay, one last comment from you, Professor Choudhary. How do you see the results panning out in Meghalaya, at least where the entire battle now lies?
I would say the friendly fights took place there in the elections, and one could see that post-poll alliance and all these parties will come together. It depends which parties or which are the parties which are getting more seats over there. I see that the NPP and BJP are going to get good number of seats, and they may not be needing other parties, specifically the Trinamool Congress and the Congress. to be part of this alliance. They will be able to force the government.
But they'll need smaller parties. UDP,
Okay, so let's wait till the 2nd of March. On that day, we are going to have continuous coverage on Sunset TV with experts who will be sharing their perspectives with us as the results trickle in. So do tune in to Sunset TV on the 2nd of March. But for now, it's a wrap on this edition of Perspective. Thank you to all my guests for joining me on the program and sharing your views and thoughts with the viewers. And thank you to you viewers also for your time. I'll see you same time tomorrow now. Take good care of yourselves. Keep watching Sunset TV.